So this is heavy on my heart. I remember hearing about this case when it first happened. But now we're seeing that a judge has ruled for this man to go to trial. So back, I want to say in like August, I learned about the death of Naziah Harris. Naziah Harris is a 13-year-old out of Detroit, Michigan, who is believed to have been unalived or, by her aunt's boyfriend. Her aunt's baby daddy. Naziah, like I said, was 13 years old, and she was pregnant. And she was believed to be pregnant by the uncle, right? I guess I shouldn't say the uncle. They weren't married, but her aunt's boyfriend. And when I first heard that, I was disgusted, but I had forgot about it. So much stuff happens. And this past week, the case went through pretrial, right? They went through the first series of things, and the judge ultimately, ruled that he would face trial for murder. Okay, we have not seen Naziah's body. We don't know what he did with it. Of course, he's innocent until proven guilty. But y'all, when I say this man's track record is so long, it's disturbing and disgusting, and I do not understand how he had all of these women. I do not understand it. This man is a registered sex offender. Okay, he already did time for these types of actions. Yet he has been able to produce more children. I know for a fact he has 13 children, but people are saying it's closer to 20-something children, right? All of the women that he has children with have children or were children when they met. Do you get what I'm saying? Let me get into, what his charges are. Now, this is straight from Wayne County, which is Detroit, Michigan. It says, today, Jarvis Ramon Butts, aka Jairus Ramon Butts, 41 of Detroit, has been charged with the homicide of Naziah Harris, who was 13 years old, also of Detroit, at the time of her disappearance on January 9th, 2024. The body of Naziah has not been found. The Detroit Police Department conducted a comprehensive investigation, which included witness statements, surveillance video, numerous documents, phone extractions, police reports, and medical reports. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office reviewed 111 gigabytes of video, 506 gigabytes of phone extractions, and 19 gigabytes of documents. The overwhelming evidence in this case leads to the tragic conclusion that Naziah was murdered by defendant Butts. On January 9, 2024, Naziah went missing. She was reported missing on that date by Annette Harris, her adoptive mother, who is her biological grandmother, when she did not come home from school. She had never gone missing from school before. The Detroit Public Schools Police Department investigated the case until early February 2024, when it was turned over to the Detroit Police Department's Missing Persons/Homicide Unit. On January 9th, these are the events. Naziah took the school bus to school. She had her hair in 2 braided puffballs, clear framed glasses, a white sweater with a black jacket over it, a colorful Rugrats puffy jacket, and with a fur-lined hood, with light blue jeans and Nike shoes. There is a video of Naziah getting on the school bus. Naziah used a DPS, which I believe is Detroit Public Schools issued tablet, that she used to communicate and communicated with an app. She took one last picture of herself on the tablet, which is the photo that has been circulating of her. Using her tablet, she sent a message to a device associated with Butts, indicating that they would be meeting up after she got out of school that day. There is a video of her getting out of school at the end of the day in the same clothes. She meets up with Butts and a coworker and goes back to their auto repair shop on Connor in Detroit. Neziah is seen by Butts' sister at the shop. Butts, the coworker, and Neziah were together in the coworker's car when they went to Ypsilanti and then returned to the shop on Connor. Butts' phone places him at these locations. At 9:30 p.m. to 12:20, it says p.m., but I believe it's a.m. that they meant, Butts checked into a motel. There's a receipt confirming this, as well as his phone placing him at that location. Neziah is never seen again after January 9, 2024. More complete facts and evidence in the case will be introduced on the record in court. The DPD, which is Detroit Police Department, investigation revealed that Jarvis Butts was well known to Neziah because he is the father of children with Neziah's biological aunt. It is alleged that Butts sent Neziah multiple texts of a sexually explicit nature beginning in September 2022. In return, she sent him sexually explicit photographs of herself. It is alleged that in September 2023, she texted Butts that she has not had her period. And in November 2023, the evidence shows that Butts knows that she is pregnant. His phone records show that he searches online about abortions, abortion pills, and drinking red antifreeze. On January 10, 2024, it is alleged that Butts was in the Rogue River area in Detroit. The clothing Neziah was last seen wearing was found in the same area. More complete facts and evidence in the case will be introduced on the record in court. Here are the facts that are supporting that Neziah is deceased. Neziah's school records show no previous record of unexcused or unexplained absences. She was active on social media before January 9, 2024. There is no new activity after January 9, 2024. She has had no contact with any family or friends since January 2024. She did not have any medical issues that would cause a life-threatening medical emergency. An area known to Butts near the Rogue River around 7 Mile and Berg Road in Detroit was searched by DPD, the Michigan State Police, the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, and other law enforcement agencies. As a result, clothing was found and identified that is consistent with the clothing Neziah was wearing on the day she went missing. Excuse me, there was damage to a piece of the found clothing that could indicate a struggle. I have been keeping up with the case, with the pretrial and everything. And I had to take a step back because it was a little bit much for me. When I heard the reading of the text messages between them in court, I disgusted. Absolutely disgusted. It's very explicit. I won't get into it, but it was very clear that this young lady was groomed early on. It was things where she is like trying to plead with him that she's not messing with anybody else, saying very graphic things that I know a 13-year-old didn't just learn on her own. The things that he's saying to her, a 13-year-old, that he texted her, very, very inappropriate. And it just made me sad because we heard testimonies from his fiance, one of his baby mamas, her aunt who has 5 of his children, and the grandmother, right? The grandmother waited a whole day after she did not come back. She waited till the morning to even report her missing. And I first listened to the testimony of his sister, who said that, she saw the little girl at his shop because this man is has an auto shop, right? He's a car repairman, a mechanic, if you will, sorry. And she saw the little girl there that day. And then that was the last time that the little girl was ever seen. And what really just stood out to me, because I had to take a step back, because it was almost like an essence of people blaming Neziah, a child without blaming her or thinking of her as a fast little girl, as if she was not groomed, right? And I want people to remember that hypersexuality is a trauma response, right? That's why a lot of the women who were considered runners in school, or, were the bops in school, a lot of them come from traumatic backgrounds, and their relationship with sex comes from, them being violated in some way, right? But it was almost like this essence of, oh, well, nobody really cared. I don't know. Her family didn't seem to care the way that I felt that they should care. Because first of all, why would you wait until the next day to report a 13-year-old missing? If she's not home by the time and I can't get in touch with her, I'm outside looking for her, first of all, and I'm reporting her missing if I can't find her that same night. It was almost as if, yeah, we'll see her when we see her. Like, we'll see if she shows up in the morning, which gives me the impression that y'all knew what the hell was going on. Y'all knew she either was sneaking out, right? You knew there was something inappropriate going on with this young lady, and you did not care enough to stop it or investigate further, right? Because I listened to the aunt's testimony, and it was almost as if, like, no, I'm not going to accuse anybody of anything, but it was like, oh, the only relationship that they had was uncle and niece. Clearly not by the text messages. When they're being questioned and examined and, did you have any idea? No. Did you see anything? No. Right? The only thing that they said that they saw was, or the aunt said that she saw was, she saw like that pictures have been sent on Instagram, which I don't know if you know this, but if you send pictures on Instagram, you can, like, you don't have to send it where it's forever. You can send it where they can click it once and then it goes away, right? And they can't save it. So she saw that pictures have been sent, but she didn't know what they said. I have a hard time believing that nobody knew what was going on. A very hard time believing that. Everybody knew who this man was. Everybody knew who this man was. And he had been convicted of this. So from what I'm understanding, the aunt had known this man for 12 years. Mind you, she's 31 years old. So 12 years ago, you were what, 19? Which people are saying they have been messing with each other since she was 16. But he's 42, okay? So let's start there. He was convicted of sexual assault, SA, already. He's a registered sex offender. So why are you even dealing with a man who is a registered sex offender, right? But she very well could have been groomed as well. But then to go and have your niece around him, she said that he had known her since she was 2, right? To have your niece and then have children by this man, and he's a registered sex offender. Nobody was protecting this baby. She already had a lot of trauma. She was adopted by her grandmother, meaning that her mother had gave her up. I believe somebody said it was like a Zoom with the family. Somebody was saying that this had also happened to the mother. So it's generational trauma at this point, that the mother was sexually abused. But nobody protected that baby. Nobody protected that baby. Everyone around her failed her. And I want to say this because I'm a mother. And if you watch any of my other videos or listen to my podcast, I just talked about why I don't family vlog, right? Not saying that my kids will never appear on my channel. Not saying that, my kids don't make an appearance on my social medias ever. But I'm very particular about stuff because we have to protect our babies. We have to protect our babies, mothers and fathers. But I'm speaking as a mother because I'm a mother. And I'm speaking to mothers because a lot of the times we are the primary parent. But if this applies to you and you are a father, you too. Do not be so male-centered that you are putting your child in danger. And it's actually something that I've gone back and forth with because I'm like, I do want to start dating, but I'm scared to even have a man around, right? I'm nervous of that. I have a daughter. I have a son too. It's not like little boys. This man might have hurt little boys too. He preyed on women with children, right? And he probably harms his own children, right? That's why he has so many of them. We don't know. But I have children and I just cannot trust. I just can't trust that these people are who they say they are. And it will be a very long time before a man comes into my house when my children are here, before a man meets my children. Like, the vetting process will be so long and lengthy, so thorough, because any red flag, I'm not fucking with it at all, okay? I have been fortunate enough where I never, dealt with any type of assault as a child, right? But I can't imagine how I could live with myself knowing that I put my child in harm's way because I wanted to have a man around. And it also felt like the aunt was in competition with Naziah. That's what it felt like to me when I'm listening to her story. It's like the text messages and stuff. It's like she's telling him like, I'm done. I've seen enough. Da 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 da. Like, it's not like you're coming for him in a way. You sick pervert. Why are you talking to my niece? It was almost like your niece was another woman that he was just messing around on her, which clearly he was messing around on her a lot because he was having all these children. So he was dealing with other women. And I guess the aunt and him still had a sexual relationship, right? So it's almost like you're viewing this 13-year-old as competition, right? And she's not. She is a child. And I know when I was 13, I might have thought I was a little grown too, right? We always think we're grown until we get grown and realize how young and naive and childish we were. And she might have thought that, she was groomed. So she might have thought, oh yeah, I'm grown enough. I'm grown enough to be with this man, right? Because he groomed her to think that. But she was a child, she was a baby, and what she needed was for people to protect her. So, saying that, I want to say, rest in power, Naziah. You did not deserve that. I'm sorry that nobody protected you. I want us as parents to protect our babies. Don't be so worried about having a man, about catching a dick, that you are literally playing with your child's life. And I literally sat up at night and thought about I might not date until my daughter is 18. I might not date until, she goes to college. And I can't protect my kids from everything. My parents can protect me from everything. But what I can protect them from is a predator. And on my watch, nobody's going to tell me that these people didn't know who this man was when he was a convicted sex offender. You're having babies by a sex offender. And the fact that nobody reported this little girl missing till the next day is giving investigate the whole family. Investigate that auntie for sure. Shannon Harris, investigate her. Because if you're viewing this little girl as competition, which that's what your testimony, the vibes it gave, but we'll see more as this goes to trial. Your kid's life is nothing to play with. We have to protect the children. And people have such a disdain for children. I get it. Children can be annoying, but adults can be annoying, right? Children are a responsibility. Sometimes they might feel like a burden, but they're not. And we have to protect them. So, Naziah, you didn't deserve that, sweet girl. And I'm sorry. And my heart hurts. My heart hurts, but I pray that justice will be served. But justice, there's no justice really ever when a life is involved. A life lost. A life that never got to bloom to its full potential. So I say all that to say, put your kids first. Protect them. Never be so male-centered that you are willing to lose your child in the process. That's it, y'all. See you next time.